But there's so many other things about this that I think are really amazing. And so, like, when we think back to something like Candyman, one of the things that people are like, this is revolutionary, is that we had a villain who was supernatural, who was a black man, right? In this film, like Jordan Peele's social horror films of Get Out and Us, it is predominantly BIPOC cast, right? And they are the protagonists. You have women who's speaking Spanish, and has like her like, and they talk about that. Like, think about how they talk about us. Like, they're not ignorant at all to the way that the world sees them, and to have like this. There's also this very honest kind of interaction with the drug lord, right? And it I thought it was so refreshing because I was like, this isn't something you would get if it was written by a white man. Because if you think about Candyman, right, we have the way that the gangs were portrayed were very one-sided. Like, they were just this like propped up like projection of what we see it. It's one-dimensional, that's it. And I was like, it's so phenomenal to see this multi-dimensional, like fully realized character in this man who is like, he's the drug dealer. Owns this, right? He is the gang leader, right? And there's this other side to him because he's like, this is all I know. And this is the only way I can ensure that I can protect my people. And like, he is working at the recreation center and he's coaching basketball, right? And he's taking care of that. Meanwhile, like, he is like carteling drugs in and out, right? But that's what he has to do. Like, there's he's like, and even like the younger brother, and it says like, there is no other way. Like, we've tried other ways. They don't exist. Like, you can't go through the system. It doesn't work. Like, it's too hard.
And it's also not built to protect people who look like them.
And so, like, we have this, one of the main characters is Ilan Noel from Insecure. And he is this protagonist. He's this hero. He's this, like, an action hero. I was like, he's amazing. Like Bruce Willis in Die Hard, right? Like, I was like, he's like,
he's like unbeatable. And he's like, he's doing it,
getting attacked, and he's losing everyone he loves, and he's getting up and he's going and he's gonna fight for his community. And he was like, I was like so pumped up because he's like, and again, he's this flawed individual, but you are rooting for him in the end. And he's also the love interest, right? And I was like, halfway through, I was like, this is a dark skinned man. Like, you know, we have colorism in our films, right? And we tend to kind of idolize lighter skinned people. He is not, right? And it's like, I was like, and he's so handsome. And it was like, I was like, I'm so excited to see this. Like, I was like amped up. And I was telling Kat before this episode, I was like, after that, I was like, he's the lead, like one of the love interests in Insecure. I was like, I've always wanted to watch Insecure, but had never gotten around to it. And now I'm like, I'm like, re-energized. I'm like, I can watch it.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's awesome. And it was like, he's just like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And like his posse, like, you felt for them. You really did.
I mean, it just shows like everyone is people. Like, we always like to super villain criminals and people who are different, like from who we see every day. Like, they literally try to like super villain gangs, and honestly, lots of communities that have been BIPOC, specifically like Black Panthers, you know, and people who are just trying to protect their community.
And also the breakfast programs of the Black Panthers.
We're literally, like helping children and school, like trying to like help their communities and make sure that they're safe, because this is a world where no one else will. So it was, I agree with you, just like really beautiful to see, like, one, how multidimensional, like, they made his character, how real his character was, how like powerful his character was, and then also like really humanizing every single character. Like, every character had moments. You know what I mean? There was no one who was just like what is his name?
Skeletor.
Skeletor was a little bit of a blip of a character. But everyone else, for the most part, was like really like, they were all people, and you felt for them. And they did a good job.
And I think like a part of Skeletor too is that like the community knew what he was, right? And there was like, everyone knew, like, they were just like, we just need to stay away from him. Like, you knew he was going to cause trouble, because that's just like how he can express himself. Like, he clearly needs help. And everyone just kind of was like, that's all we can do. Especially when you think about how stigmatized mental health help is in the Black community, and how strong that is against like Black men specifically, and how often they aren't like taken seriously or, you know, given the help that they deserve, and are looked down upon for needing help, right? Mm-hmm. It's so neglected, and it is a real issue. And so to see a character like Skeletor and to see how the community interact with him felt very real. And so like that's what it really, I was just like, this sucks so hard because like he's being taken advantage of, and like there's nothing anyone can do, right? And I think a part of that is like the younger brother Isaiah realizing that he wasn't the enemy. Mm-hmm. Like he was like, he hurt
he got to that point,
but he was like, oh no, there's a bigger bad than this. And I thought that was really great. And we just had so many different characters, and they all have their own motivations, and it was really great. And it makes me really sad that it doesn't get more attention and that it isn't uplifted as much.
I think it's intentional.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that, you know, like we have been saying, that people are, you know, being a little more deliberate. There's more people out here who want to learn and want to see. And I think this is a great way to kind of see that. Because I think you can immediately realize the terror. Like, you know, you're like, they're out there partying, they're having a block party. You're like, you know, you would be out there. Like, and the government realizing it and watching these screens, like, why aren't they killing each other? And it's like,
they were mad.
Because it is a lie. Because you're being confronted with the truth, which is that doesn't exist. Like, those myths and urban legends that you've been putting on this group of people clearly is a lie. Yeah. And the things that you thought so hard were going to be proved aren't. And so that you have to twist the facts. And of course they're going to bring in COINTELPRO, because it's just like with the protests that are happening, right? We have peaceful protests, and it's not until like mysterious burning cars, bricks laid out on the street, tear gas. They're closing people off.
Yeah, they're making it so there's no way to escape. Like, there's no way to follow the law.
Yes.
So, like, what do you want people to do?
And then, like, you're attacking people, and, like, again, you're protesting police brutality, and you're met with police brutality, and people are still defending the police. And it's like, that's how you know that this is real.
Yeah.
That this is, it almost feels like a documentary, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean, it was so viscerally upsetting, but like in a very necessary way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I literally looked up after watching it, I was like, we need to get weapons. Like, I just felt so strongly about that. That was just like, there's no safety in this system.
Yeah.
Unless we're upper class, rich white people. And that's not where I fall right now.
Yeah.
And where anyone I love falls. So none of us are safe.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying everyone go get guns, but like,
at
least something, defend yourself. Because like,
that's the thing.
They're going to come at us with things that we didn't even realize were possible. So they have all these weapons that they're using on people who are literally walking down the street.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's like what people need to realize is that no one else is going to save us, right? No one came to the aid that was outside of that community. Everyone was watching from their screen, being, you know, like distanced from the issue. Like, it seems fictional even to people who lived in that world and were just watching, right? Because that's what we do. We distance ourselves from those problems, and that when it really comes down to it, the only people who are going to save you are each other and in your community. And so you really do have to like build up your community and stick by the others like you who are gonna fight back, right? Because that's the only way. Like, we cannot be waiting for this white savior situation, right? Like, it's not going to happen. And it's inevitable that like there is going to be this uproar. Like, it really felt to me, I was like, this feels like it's going to happen tomorrow when I was watching it, because it is like happening right now. Like, all these different things are happening right now. And so I think, like, if you're going to get anything out of this film, it is to feel empowered enough that you can gain knowledge about the world and the truth, and use that knowledge to then protect yourself and protect your loved ones, and realize that we can be the heroes together. And that, like, I mean, at the end, it didn't end well, right? They still are in power, and the purge obviously still happens.
It still like decimated their community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like annihilated.
Their entire like community that they built up had been taken out by drones, and just the white people who were the mercenaries.
Yeah. Thinking about like going floor to floor to floor, and versus like something here in Philadelphia, the move bombing, right? Like just, and it's your fault. You did it. There's two sides to the story. Like, no, you bombed people, your community, you killed 5 children, right? Like, there's no two sides to that.
Also shot like weapons into their building for a very long time.
Yeah, and then you let it burn.
Yeah, they literally let it burn.
They said, let it burn to make a point, right? So it's like and they still have like barely an apology 35 years later. Not even like a slap on the wrist kind of apology, right? And so it's like this stuff is so real, and it is happening every day, and we just need to be aware of it so that we can be like, we can't have it anymore where people say, you know, like, it's not the time, or I don't want politics in my media, or this is a liberal agenda. And it's like, it is. The liberal agenda is to educate you so you know what's really happening out there, and so that we can combat it. So we don't want to be like Candyman in the 90s and pretend that we're colorblind and that the issues are behind us. They're happening, they're real, and we need to fight.
Yeah. That was a very inspiring speech.
Oh, thanks.
Lead us.
Look at us do. Look at us.
I know.
Be educational. Yeah. And this is like our last episode in our podcast lair as it is, because we're moving. Because this area is full of rampant white supremacists and would ISIS who think that Columbus is more deserving of their attention than Black lives.
Yeah. They're walking around here with weapons, like guns and bats.
Yeah. And being intoxicated in public. It's so rude. The police are rude. Yeah. So, you know, this is a great series. I don't know how much longer we have, like how much more content, because sadly it's kind of hard to find. Like, I think it would be fun to do a Tales from the Hood. But I think like there are, like, if you have suggestions, please let us know.
Yeah, please.
The ghouls@gmail.com. If there's something you want us to cover, whether that's a book, a video game, a film, TV show, what have you.
I've taken on reading.
Kat reads now.
Yeah. It's been a journey.
It's fun,
It's necessary. I can do it in small bursts. It's just like the narcolepsy really affects my focus. But once we get going, it's good. I got it. Send us some books to read.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're learning something from it. I hope this is media literacy for you, and that inspires. Like, it's $15. It's so absurd. Like, if you like,
I own it now. If any friends who want to watch it,
I wonder if we could like somehow stream it. If you know how to stream, and if we can somehow get a license to do that, I would love to stream this film once things are allowed to be out in the open. Because it's people say green phase. It's not green phase. We're in the second wave of coronavirus. Do not go outside without a mask. But once the world is a little more settled, maybe we could have something at like Amalgam Comics, Coffee House and Comics, to like have a screening where everyone watches the first Purge and we talk about it, because that would be amazing. And Shudder, I'm calling you. Like, I'm gonna call you and be like, you need to up this horror noir. I got the best film for you, man.
Yeah.
Put it on there. Let people, like, it's so cheap.
There's no like, I don't understand. Like, I guess I do understand, because I think it's intentional. I think it is on purpose been like pushed under the rug because it came out during that whole let Kaepernick lose his job time. Yeah. So
it's like if HBO, which is the HBO, can put out The Watchmen for a weekend during Juneteenth to be free for people to watch, and if Netflix, big old Netflix, can put 13th, the documentary 13th by Ava DuVernay on YouTube for free, regardless of if you have a subscription. If they can do that, then we can find a way to get this film on out there and available. Like, put it on YouTube. It's like illegal, I feel like, to not have this film out there and for it to be $15 and for us to have to search so hard for it. Like, I will lovingly pay that $15. I think they deserve it.
Because they deserve the money, but it should be available.
This is necessary watching. Like, as silly and hokey, it is necessary watching, and I think it's rude that this and Get Out and Horror Noir and Us and Candyman and all these films aren't just, like, out there.
Yeah, they're making it harder.
It should just be, like, here, along with all those books you're reading, watch them.
And, I will say, it's like, I want people who made these films to get the money that they deserve.
Yeah.
And if that's the issue, then we need people to start paying them the money that they deserve so that we can put them in these, like, areas so that they're more easily accessible.
Absolutely. And, like, it kills me to use Amazon. Yeah. And that's what we had to do. And we did it. And you know how much I hate Jeff Bezos. Like, everyone who listens and watches us knows that. And that I would gladly watch him arrested.
Available option.
Yeah. And I did it. I allowed it. We watched it on that awful program, that awful streaming service for that awful company.
It's like awful quality-wise than awful actually, just because of
just like my ethics, my
morality.
That's the word. All of it was in jeopardy, but I did it because this film deserves that. So if that's not a testament, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And if you need the hookup, Kat owns it now. We bought it together, so we can work it out, friends.
Yeah,
that
we need you to
our
see
friends
it
can watch
because it's
it.
so real. And also, just like go get your nunchucks or your giant wrenches,
Kat, nunchucks,
giant wrenches or bats or like
seriously,
not in the white supremacist defending statues kind of way.
Yeah.
Like defend your houses,
real.
defend your families,
things that are real.
Fight the system.
All right, well,
I said that so lackluster. Fight the system.
It's just,
you gotta say it.
We're tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
don't get married though, your kids.
They'll eat your kids. Hey, yeah, there you go.
I know what we're doing.
This is our podcast, The Ghouls Next Door. All right, bye.
Bye.